Hello, friends. It's time once again for another story. This is from the Neckbeard Stories subreddit, actually. This is from Throwaway 3... It's obviously a throwaway account. It's a bunch of random numbers. This is called Creepy Weeb Furry Neckbeard Could Not Leave Me Alone. That's a hell of a combination. Hello everyone, I wanted to share my own story. I hope it's cringe enough for some entertainment. Keep in mind that I did a lot of wrong things too in this relationship. I am no way blameless, but this guy. This post might be kind of long, so sorry about that. So there's this guy that lives in the same town as me. We had a lot in common. We both liked anime, we're both autistic. He's very overweight, bald, and not very desirable, but not horribly ugly, just not very handsome, I guess. He has lost some weight, and I commend him for that. I myself am not skinny, and I understand the struggle with eating the right food, so I don't really judge him on that or anything. I'm 24, he's 35. It's quite an age gap, but to be honest, I don't have a lot of options out here, so I gave him a chance after a while of him pining after me. He initially confessed that he was in love with me, back when we had been chatting on Facebook for a while. I was like 18 or 19 back then, but I just was not interested in him, so I let him down easy. After that, we stopped talking for a while, up until a year later when I was 20, and again, he confessed his love for me. I was in a relationship at that point and rejected him, telling him that he's nice, but I'm with someone. He was really hurt by that and told me, "Well, if you ever change your mind, just know you're officially in the friend zone now, and if you want a relationship, I'm saying no, lol." Imagine unironically saying friend zone like that. I was honestly a bit weirded out by how childish he was acting, but I let it slide. We'd talk sometimes, and he showed me his art. I'm an artist myself. Not great, but his art was, well, not to sound like a bitch, but very childlike. He's probably dyslexic, but sometimes it's kind of hard to understand what he's writing because his messages were always riddled with typos. He's also a hardcore furry, and he would send me NSFW art that he and other furries made. Myself, being a dumbass who can't just say no, just said, "Oh, that's nice," despite being really creeped out by what he was sending me. Yeah, I should have told him no, but I was really shy. I stopped answering him for a long time because I was tired of seeing furry porn in my messages. Fast forward to the end of last year. I broke up with my ex, and this dude asked me to make a reference sheet for his character. I felt bad ignoring him for so long, so I drew it for him. He loved it, and we started talking more regularly on Facebook. He told me there was no pressure to be in a relationship. He was content with just being friends. I appreciated that. He liked my art so much that he showed his friends on Discord, and later I joined that server and even got to do some commissions. I was really grateful to him for recommending me to his friends. I was actually starting to be slightly attracted to him after a few weeks of talking. He seemed like he had matured a bit, and we got along well enough. One time I was talking about how I want to have a baby someday, but I didn't have a boyfriend. And he said that he wants a baby too and told me, "Well, I could help, but you only want to be friends, which I respect." And me being the dumb bitch I am, said, "Well, if you wanted, we can try being more than friends." Big mistake. Immediately he told me how happy he was and that he liked me so much and that I was way out of his league and he'd be happy to date. I told him I'd like to hang out a bit first, get to know each other a little bit better, go on a few dates. He eagerly accepted. The first date was alright. He didn't smell bad, his breath was a bit strong though, and he was pretty nice. Treated me to some food, which I insisted on paying back, but he refused the money. After that, we had a few more dates, and that was pretty nice too. I went to his apartment, and we cuddled a bit, and he had a lot of furry merch, and even a Dakimakura. Uh-oh. He also had an ass mouse pad of a lolly character, which creeped me out, but he said it was just for the lulz, and I ignored this. Another thing that alarmed me a bit, though, is he was showering me in gifts, which I did not ask for. I insisted on paying him back, but he wanted to give that stuff to me, and I didn't want to be rude and refuse. I stupidly accepted the gifts. He also has a lot of sex toys that he showed me and told me that he wants to use on me. Ew. This guy has sex and porn on the brain a lot, and his behavior on Twitter and Discord prove that. He told me that he went to another country where prostitution is legal to hire some prostitutes, maybe you don't need to share that. Then my cat got very sick, and I had to come to terms that I would have to put her to sleep. He was sending me a lot of messages, and I explained the situation about my cat to him and asked him to please leave me alone for a bit, because I was feeling really emotional. He understood, at first, until he started sending me messages again that he felt horrible for me and that he couldn't leave me alone while I was suffering, and how he felt so horrible that I should come over to his apartment and cuddle with him to make him feel better. I got fed up and told him I felt like he was making the whole situation about himself and that I would have to cut contact for a while. So I did. I blocked him everywhere until I would feel better. A few days later, he messaged me through the page where I post my art on Facebook to please unblock him because he couldn't breathe and that he was so depressed. So, like an idiot, I unblocked him and started trying to cheer him up. It got creepy when he started telling me that he is so in love with me, that I am one in a million, the only one for him, and that he wants to be my pet. Ew. And will do anything for me. This is when I realized that he is obsessed with me, and I told him I can't be in a relationship with someone who is like this, and he's scaring me. He begged me not to block him, and I couldn't anyway, because on Facebook you can't block someone again within 48 hours. So I gave him yet another chance. He wanted to be friends with benefits and kept asking me to come over for sex, but I didn't want that. I should have straight up said no, but I have this horrible need to please people, so I agreed even though I had no intention of sleeping with him. He kept saying how much he wants to impregnate me, and have a baby with me, that I would be a great mother, and I was thoroughly creeped out. Yeah, I fucking bet. Cut to about 2 weeks later, my cat was put to sleep and I'm devastated. I told him I won't be online much as I'm grieving, and this time he did leave me alone. For 2 days. He messaged to check if I was okay, which was nice, and he sent me some memes. I said I was feeling okay-ish, and I told him that I was interested in getting a puppy because I like to take walks and can use someone to take walks with. He starts ranting that it's not a good idea because dogs need a lot of training and they can go nuts for no reason if you don't take good care of them. I know all this and told him I'm researching and not jumping into it yet. He doesn't stop. He then has the nerve to say, "Wouldn't you just want a baby instead?" What the actual fuck? And begging me for sex, and I lost my patience. I told him no, and that he's creeping me out, and then blocked him. All was silent for about a week or so, until today, when he sent me an email. Apparently he somehow tracked down and started scolding me for blocking him. His angry letter said, "I'm over you. If you apologize to me, I will be friends on Facebook again." And he kept contradicting himself and saying, "I'll never date you again," and then saying, "If you want a relationship with me," and honestly, that letter infuriated me. He kept telling me I was too immature for a relationship, which, to be fair, is true, and I was incredibly selfish. The funny thing is that the guy has in his Facebook bio, "I'm very nice and helpful," which I personally believe is not true. In my anger, I replied to him, told him he's acting like a child, and that he was 35, and this was embarrassing. I told him that I'm grieving my cat and did not need his bullshit about having sex and babies. He replied back, telling me I was the most toxic person he has ever met, and that I'm horrible and will turn into a crazy cat lady. I'm fed up with this dude. I know I might be a bit in the wrong here, and I'm not perfect either. Maybe I'm the bitch here, and he isn't a true neckbeard, but honestly, I feel so angry and hurt by his attitude. It's not enough that my cat died, but this asshole has to make shit worse, and he knows where I live too, which scares me a bit. He also used to do weird shit in chat, like bunny hugs and hugs you tight. Oh god, he's role-playing. He'd say this stuff in English, even though we're not from an English-speaking country. He's an atheist, and when he asked me if I was religious, I said no. He was extremely relieved and started ranting about religion. In one of his old Facebook photos, he had a fedora on. Ooh, that's a red flag. Sorry for the extremely long story, and if it's not Neckbeard material, but I really had to get this off my chest and see if I was just the one being toxic. I said a lot of shit to him because I lost my patience with him, but I feel like he did a lot of fucked up shit too. Is he a neckbeard, or am I just incapable of interacting with people? Well, first off, I don't think, whoever you are, throw away, because this is a, throwaway account. If you're listening to this, I don't think that you're wrong. He is absolutely in the wrong. A lot of what you described definitely sounds like Neckbeard material, but what he absolutely is, more than anything, 100%, is a fucking asshole. Because he did not respect your boundaries in any way, shape, or form. He made every single thing entirely about himself, and was mad that that was just not something that everyone else was willing to do. You are not obligated to be in a relationship with someone. If you just feel like you need to be single for a while, that's totally fine. It's your body, it's your life, and you can make those decisions. Him trying to guilt you into shit makes him seem like an absolute fucking tool. I mean, you lashed out, which, honestly, I can't even say is that bad. That's totally fine. Given the situation, I probably would have done the same thing. I mean, is it the best decision? Probably not. I mean, the best decision would probably be to, ignore guys like that, block them, and then never reply to them again. However, hindsight is 20/20, and it's easy to say that whenever you're not the one, dealing with it in the moment. So, while it is the best idea to just straight ignore someone like that, I honestly can't say that you did the wrong thing, lashing out at him, because, honestly, given what you were going through, yeah, that's totally expected. That's fine. This guy's an asshole, and he totally should not have been, treating you like this. It's really obvious that his obsession is just physical. He liked to go on these whole tirades about how he wants to be in a relationship, but the fact that even when you're at your most upset, his only thought process is, how can I get laid, or how can I make this about me, shows exactly what his true colors are. I wouldn't go so far as to say he's a complete narcissist, because that term tends to get thrown around a lot, but he is absolutely very immature. This is someone who thinks with his dick more than anything, and that's not just because he has a mountain of sex toys, it's just the way he is. So, I don't blame you for pushing back, and I don't blame you for blocking him. My personal advice is to remove him from every facet of communication. Just don't talk to him anymore. Completely ghost his ass. And if he decides to show up or decides to do anything in person, you have every right to call the police. You do not have to be stalked by someone like that. You do not have to deal with someone like that. That is absolutely not your problem. If he can't get over the fact that it's over and you're not into him anymore, then that is a 100% him problem. You are not responsible for someone else's mental health. The only person's mental health you're responsible for is your own. And placating this man-child, it's not good for you. So I hope everything works out for you, whoever you are, mysterious throwaway random Redditor. I'm just sorry that you had to go through all that. So thanks for watching, everybody. If you enjoyed this, make sure you like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. It's a YouTube thing. I don't really know if it helps, but I think it does. If you'd like to support this show so we can keep doing things like this and more, I have a Ko-Fi and I have a merch store. The links to both of those are in the description below this video. So is a link to the subreddit that I read stories from, r/Moonhorse Stories. Go check it out. There's a bunch of other stuff in that description too. If you ever wanted to send me a weird package of crazy things, you can do that. I make mailbag videos. Either way, thanks for watching, everybody. I love you all so very much, and I'll see you in the next episode. Goodbye!